Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't touch that dial. Now, when I first started this show 25 years ago, we had dials on TV. So now I say, don't touch that remote, okay? Got a great show. I got a guest. My guest today is a very, I'm going to use Cisco style. He's a classy guy, you know. He covers he covers everything like a do, you know. He likes music. He likes art. He's a politician. He knows how to bob and weave and slip and slide. And he's always helping somebody. And it is the first time I've had him on my show. So, I mean, he's been a busy guy. And he's run for election. And, you know, I'm bobbing and weaving there. But I can't say who I'm voting for. But he's here, okay? And he's a good man. And I don't know who the other guy is, but give him my regards. Now, back to, I want you to meet... In this corner, Wayne 100 and from the 17th district, Daylin Leach. Welcome to the Hank Cisco Show.
Thank you.
Okay, now.
No one has accused me of
tell me something about yourself now, okay?
No one said I've been under 200 pounds.
What I like about him, I don't have to worry about talking. My daughter always says, Hank, don't talk too much. Okay, go ahead, you talk.
You want to know something about me?
Yeah.
I like cheese, but there's more. Hank, let's see. I was born in 1961 in Philadelphia.
61.
1961. And I was raised in Northeast Philadelphia, moved to Allentown, became active in politics from a very young age. I worked in my first campaign when I was 11.
Wow.
Yeah. That was always my calling. You know?
You were always a Democrat, right?
I was always a Democrat.
You didn't change around or anything?
No. And my first campaign that I worked on when I was 11 was George McGovern, who sadly just died.
Passed away, yeah.
Who I got to know personally.
Nice guy.
Nice guy. But anyway, he was a real hero to me back then.
He was a good guy, but he was a hook without a squeeze. He didn't have, you know, he was just, you know, nice.
Yeah.
You know, he had no fire.
Yeah.
But good man.
Good man. But anyway, I handed out literature for him in Allentown. Allentown was not a McGovern stronghold. So I learned early on how, you know, people get very intense about politics.
Like an underdog.
They called me all kinds of names, even though I was 11 years old and I was cute, Hank.
I'm a former policeman. They call me a lot of names, too. Okay. Politician and policeman, right?
Yeah. No, so anyway, I went to Temple University, undergrad in political science, and then I went to the University of Houston for law school.
Houston. Oh.
I thought I'd try a different part of the country, check it out. Came back immediately, and I practiced law for 17 years, and I got involved. I was involved in politics even then. I was president of the Pennsylvania
in Montgomery
Democrats.
County or in Philadelphia?
Well, actually, that was Lehigh County when I was originally practicing law up in Lehigh.
Years ago, do you remember when I was a county detective or when I was a Northtown policeman, lawyers from Philadelphia couldn't practice in Montgomery County. Was that something? How was that?
Montgomery County got better. Some counties made it very difficult. That you had, like for example, you had to appear in person even to present routine motions, which made it cost prohibitive if you were from another county to go there for all this stuff. So
you had to get somebody from this county,
a local guy,
and you would sit next to him.
Yeah,
right?
it was so complicated. But so I practiced in Montgomery County. I mean Lehigh County, but then I opened offices in Philadelphia, Montgomery County, and then there was to give you a little history of my seat. Dick Tillman was the senator in my seat.
Yeah.
Now, the lines of my seat...
He was a Republican, wasn't he?
He was. The lines of my seat have changed a lot every 10 years. We draw the lines. But Dick Tillman was in there for like 35 years. He resigned in the middle of his term shortly after the 2000 election, and there was a special election to replace him. And Connie Williams, who was the state representative,
good lady,
very good. She's head of the Art Museum Board of Directors now, so she's doing very well.
A lot of class.
Wonderful woman.
Right.
And so anyway, she ran for the state Senate, won that election, which created a vacancy in the House. When there was a vacancy, the party picked somebody. There's not a primary. And so there was an interview process, and they picked me to run for Connie's seat. Eventually, I won that seat. I served 3 terms in the House, and then I was elected to the Senate in 2008 for the first time. This is the end of my first 4-year term in the Senate. You know, there was that. I also, you know, taught for many years in college. I was an adjunct professor of constitutional law for a lot of years, loved teaching. And as you say, I have a lot of hobbies. I'm a tennis player. I'm a ping pong player. I'm a ping pong coach
ping pong.
now.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. We used to be number 3 ranked player in China as my coach now.
Yeah, what's this?
Used to be a ranked chess player.
Chess player.
Chess.
Oh my
when I was
God.
young. So you got to understand.
What a chess player. They make a move every half hour.
Yeah, but it's
Get him over here.
It's all.
Come on.
The mind's racing, Hank. I got to tell you, I did that. This was I don't know if you remember when Bobby Fischer played for the World Championship.
Yeah, that was
one brief shining moment. Chess captured the nation's attention.
Right.
And that is when I was involved in chess.
You're involved in that.
And
you
then,
didn't play him though. Right?
No. But then when I got to be a little older, I realized chess was not getting me girls. So I tried to pick up other things I thought would do better, like electric guitar, for example. But
you played guitar too?
Well, a little bit. But
Well,
although I'm taking drum lessons now. I'm taking drum lessons now. I bought a big drum set, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, then why don't you come over here and play the drums or something?
I would love to.
Look, I want some music. For St. Patrick's Day, I want it for Columbus Day, Italian music. I want Christmas and all. What instrument you want to play?
Well,
Senator Hall used to play the trumpet.
I could play the drums, which isn't a great solo
Yeah,
instrument.
but we got something. You
gotta
can't
have
sing
some
with
with
the
it.
drums.
No, you can't.
What else you play?
That's pretty much
Like
it.
the guitar.
Well, yeah, I can play.
Well, we can play Hey Gambari, Si vuol sonare, and you can play, go drum,
Sure.
you can strum.
Yeah, that's.
I'll book you.
Okay,
we'll
we
book
will
it.
do
I
that.
got you. I got Dean Garafola, Elvis Presley, you know, what do you call him? Impersonator. Him. And I got Graham Chandler. I got this Asian girl that sings real good. Great combination.
Yeah.
You can't louse it up.
No,
I
I think
so.
I think this would go very well.
We'll put you. I'm going to make you a star.
Yes, music.
But that's what I like. I think a politicians. Well, I use the word politician. I saw a public servant.
I'm happy
as
to
I'm
be
concerned,
called a politician.
That has a background with people. I think that's very important. You just can't go behind a desk and shuffle papers. You got to get out and talk to the people, and you're the perfect example of that.
We try to do that
there.
a lot.
So now, tell me some of the things that you just a big victory, I guess, for the good about this voter registration. Tell me what the scoop on that.
Well, the issue was the voter ID, whether you had to show photo ID to vote. Which was very difficult for a lot of people who don't. The people who it was difficult for tended not to have driver's licenses because that's the sort of photo ID most people have. The people who don't have driver's licenses are, oddly enough, the people who don't drive.
Right.
Who doesn't drive? Typically elderly people, very poor people who can't afford cars, and people who live in the inner cities, and students. These groups disproportionately did not have photo IDs, which is, some people believe that's why the law was passed to prevent those people from voting.
But you think it's a good thing, but you didn't have enough time to really do it.
But it's not even sure it's a good thing, because the question is why. There's only one kind of voter fraud that would be solved by voter ID, which is in-person impersonation. In other words, I go to the polls, I pretend I'm Hank Cisco when I'm not, in order to get your vote. But that almost never happens.
Yeah, but it does once in a while.
There hasn't been a single case.
There's some shady characters. You never know what they're going to do.
Yeah, but there's a big risk. In other words, if I do
In other words, the problem is very small.
It's very small
to do a gigantic thing.
non-existent. And so anyway, we got it was a long process. We worked very hard on that. Finally, got the courts to overturn it. Let me explain, just so your viewers know, because the election is coming up in very few days, what the status is. The status is this. If you go to the polls to vote, if you are a legitimate registered voter at the poll you go to, you can be asked to show ID, but you don't have to show ID.
Okay.
And if you don't show ID, you still have to be able to be allowed to vote. Okay. And so don't let anyone tell you you don't have a photo ID, you can't vote. That is not the law.
What if the person behind that desk suspects that this guy has been here a couple of times?
Well, I mean, if
he has the power to
That's
have
always
a judge?
been the case. That's always been the case. If you believe that the person before you is not the person there, you as a judge of elections, you can say, I saw you here earlier today or whatever. At which point, they would cast a provisional ballot, and they would have to show ID for that ballot to count.
Yeah, wow. Well, all right. Now, we know that Montgomery County, you're only part of Montgomery County, but we have a new hospital.
Yep.
Tell me about that now.
Well, we have a new hospital. Just so people know, I'll tell people where I represent. I have to take a breath before I do this. In Delaware County, I have Radnor and Haverford Townships. And in Montgomery County, I have Lower Marion, Upper Marion, Narberth, West Conshohocken, Bridgeport,
Wow.
Norristown, East Norriton,
You have
and
all
Plymouth.
Norristown? Wow.
I have all of these municipalities, East Norriton and Plymouth. So the new hospital is in East Norriton. Einstein, which ironically is where I got my broken arm fixed as a kid. Not Einstein Hospital, a different one, the one on Broad Street. But they are now opening a hospital. It's now open. I took a tour of it just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I did a show there.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful facility,
Right.
and it's state of the art. Really great stuff.
Right.
It's going to be a
Glass.
huge asset to the community, and so. And it's open, so if anyone needs any medical attention or whatever, that's the place to go, right on Germantown Avenue.
You know, they have a little bit of heaven in the one part of the hospital. You know that? That's where babies are born.
Well,
little bambinos. I filmed the recovery room, the delivery room.
Yeah.
and everything is there. They got the scale, the weight, the
they got it all. You know what else they got?
And they deliver babies.
It's very interesting in the maternity ward, or the maternity unit. They
get all them classy names.
They have a special floor that when you walk in, it doesn't make a sound. Like you don't hear your shoes walking in, so it doesn't wake the babies up. I mean, they thought of everything there.
Oh my God, that's
true.
Great. Yeah.
And they have all kind. They have robotic surgery things where surgeons can perform surgery on someone that's not even in front of them, that's somewhere else by using a robot and cameras.
Oh, yeah.
It's
that's
fascinating.
Yeah.
So they've got all kinds of great things there, and hopefully no one out there will need it. But if you ever do, it's a good.
Well, I might have to get an operation out there very soon because doctor says I have to get my late hours cut out. I've been staying that late. It's a joke. My late hours cut out. I mean, come on.
I didn't know what that was exactly. I'm like, what part of Hank's body could that be? Maybe I want to know. Maybe I don't want to know. So we're gonna let it pass.
I want everybody to know that I'm going to get my late hours cut out. But you know, I think that's great. Norristown, we got some good things. Now let's talk about Norristown.
Yep.
We got the theater. We got 2 theaters now. But the Center Theater was original building, a historic building. You know, beautiful, and they're renovating. Tell me something about it.
Well,
now.
I know, first of all, it's something we've been very involved in with the Arts District in Norristown. One of the things, the Center Theater we've been involved for a long time. In fact, my daughter, who is 11, has performed at several productions at the Center Theater.
Good.
She recently was in Fiddler on the Roof. She was in Honk.
I like that song.
Yeah. We spent many hours with Fran Doyle and the rest of the crew at the Center Theater.
Great.
They just got that new sign, which is terrific.
It's like Broadway.
It's like Broadway, absolutely. Then we've got Theater Horizon, which I was involved with from the very beginning. We got a lot of state grants for Theater Horizon because I always saw a lot of potential for them.
They beat the name to the gun. I mean, they were all of a sudden they wind up with all the money.
Yeah,
the poor guy was waiting there, but they'll work out. It'll work out.
It'll work out. But the point is that my daughter was involved with Theater Horizon too, and we know the Rileys, Erin Riley and her mother Diane, and Erin's one of the 2 founders, along with Matt Decker of Theater Horizon. We just went to the gala 2 nights ago, the kickoff gala. They have always. If you've never seen one of their productions, they are top-notch productions. You really ought to go.
I know. I don't miss one at the Center Theater. Really.
Well, and now they've moved to their own theater up the block. They have their own Theater Horizon Theater. Yeah. The other thing we were involved in with the Arts Hill was the big mural we got there.
Yeah, and, you get a little controversial about that.
But that's
art
what,
is art.
That's what art is. Art is always controversy. Not everyone likes Picasso, you know?
Yeah, one guy, he's always writing letters there, and he says, Hank Cisco, you ought to be ashamed of yourself spending money. What do I have? I'm the ambassador. I don't even have no power. I'd have no, but it's art.
It's
art.
Mean, now, and I think it looks wonderful. It looks like the sunrise coming over the hill, and it certainly looks better than the blank brick wall that was there before.
Right.
And it lets people know this is an arts hill. This is an arts community, and we're not done. There's going to be more artistic things coming to that area. The other thing we're working on trying to do is get. We need some anchor restaurants there.
That's what we need,
There's some
that will bring a different clientele of people. No, because when I say different clientele, there's different clientele. Football games, soccer games,
Well,
so everybody's different.
People, period.
Boxing, wrestling.
Yeah, it'll bring people. Period. And right now there's 2 restaurants that we go to all the time. All my friends go to in Norristown. They go to August Moon and they go to the Mexican place, whose name I can't pronounce, across the street.
Yeah.
But they always say, I'm going to August Moon. They never say, I'm going to Norristown.
Very good.
Like they do with Manioc. They just say, I'm going to Manioc. They don't say what restaurant.
Yeah.
We want people to say, I'm going to Norristown. And in order for that to happen, we've got to have 3 or 4 solid anchor restaurants. Some of these artistic things you see.
Right.
There was some talk about maybe the community college moving a branch down here as well.
Maybe Montgomery Hospital.
Yeah.
I know what's scoop on that. They're bobbing and weaving on that, right?
Well, that's another thing. I mean, to the extent that we can get
Bishop
activity,
Kenrick?
to the extent that we can get activity, especially along the Main Street, DeKalb area,
right.
we can really create an area that people want to come to. Because there's no reason that Norristown can't be a major attraction.
We're a county seat.
Not only a county seat, you have a river. You have access
Waterfront,
you have access.
Transportation.
Yeah, all the major highways. There's no reason that Norristown, in 10 years, can't be on its way to being what Manioc and New Hope are.
You know, I interviewed Dr. Grafey, who was a top doctor at Montgomery Hospital. Now she's in Philadelphia. She didn't go to Einstein. And I had to pick her up and bring her over here to do the show. And she lived in the main line, and she went right to Montgomery Hospital, main home, back, but she never around Norristown. So when I picked her up to drive, she looked and said, oh my God, just look at these beautiful homes here, different architect, you know. Like you go in these other suburban little towns, you know, my God, the houses all look alike.
Yeah.
And when you get half a load on, you know how to get in the wrong door.
No, and believe me, when I have a half a load on, I really have to be careful about that.
Yeah, no, you know what happened? When I was a policeman, the guy, he got married. He was only married like 6 months or so, and I was in West Norton, and all them houses all look alike. So he come over, hit bomb. Next thing you know, he's knocking on the door. He says, "Oh, I'll show her. She locked me out because he broke the." And he was at the wrong house.
Yeah, I hate.
Oh
when
my
that
God,
happens.
it was
I
neighbor.
hate that what happens. That's why all my neighbors have painted "Daylin, you're at the wrong house" on their door because that helps me in that situation. No, it's Norristown has a ton of history. It has a ton of.
Manioc did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manioc did it. New Hope did it before them,
Hope.
and we can do the same thing. If we're smart about it and we're aggressive about it.
You know, one thing Frank Rizzo always said when I was one of his pallbearers. I was a very close friend with him, you know. And he says, you know, you become mayor, you want the town clean and you want it safe.
Yeah.
And they're the two things. And I think that's what we're working on. We're going to work on Norristown being clean, safe, and a place to come to shop, to entertain, to worship, everything right here.
There's a number of us who are working on that, and I will say that you couldn't have better people running the town, frankly, and this is not with regard to politics or anything. I'm just saying that the people on Borough Council here are just first-rate people. They're really smart. They really care about their community, and every one of them. And I think that leadership is important, and having good leadership like that will make sure that the future is bright.
Well, we got the ingredients here in Norristown that other towns have. Like I said, we got 422, 202. We got the P&W. We got the railroad. We got a bicycle path that goes through Norristown.
Yep.
We got everything.
I ride on that bike path all the time.
Right.
And we have
You're in pretty good shape, right?
Well, I try to be, and we have the county seat, and we have a lot of things in place. We just need a couple more things, which we're getting. And so I think that over time.
How about Columbus Monument there?
Yes, absolutely.
Senator Hall was great on that. Boy,
yes. People should know Senator Hall was the senator in Norristown years ago, because Norristown at that time was not in the 17th district, which is my district now. It was moved into the 17th district.
Well, then we had to get a hold of you then.
And I think, I'm the guy. But I think in 2000 it was moved into the 17th district.
Pat Mascara now is in charge. He's the president. And I'm the founder, but I'm stepping aside because he's been helping. We had a nice ceremony on the 12th, and now he has some good ideas on making that a real place for tourists to come. And we're working on that. But I have an idea. Now I'm going to run it by you for the first time, okay?
All right,
Listen to
let's
this. 4th of July, Norristown has fireworks, okay? And they haven't been out in the park. And people park over here, and nobody really has a good shot. West Norton has it over here. East Norton has it over here. Why can't we go to State Hospital, the highest point, and have a display there? The whole 3 townships put their money in, or whatever it is, and then you'd have a display there, and you'd be able to park. People would be able to see from all over. The people from the hospital, Einstein would be able to look out and see the fireworks. Wouldn't that? It's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, if there's seating and parking, and there's no safety issues, I haven't scouted out.
You're out in the country.
But that sounds like a great idea.
I'm going to run that by
because if you have a unified situation, again, as you say, you can pool your resources. You could have a bigger, more elaborate display,
and you'll have more display, and then you'll have the 3 townships
and
together.
it brings a sense of community. I mean, the 3 townships are part of a school district. The 3 townships are part of an area. They should have a sense of community between them. That would be a great idea. I would support that fully, Hank. You are a font of good ideas.
I'm going to run it by. I'll talk to a couple more people. I'll talk to Stan Husky and let that motivate a little bit, and we'll see what we come up with. Now, what's on the front burner up in Harrisburg? I mean, do you go back and forth?
Well, that's a lot of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, you don't realize when somebody's elected official, he has to leave his home, go to Harrisburg, go back and forth and up, So,
well, let me tell you,
I gotta give you credit for that.
A lot of people ask me, like, what does your week look like? How does that work? I leave typically on a week that we're in session in Harrisburg. I leave Monday morning. I drive up to Harrisburg. I stay overnight in Harrisburg Monday and Tuesday night. Come back late Wednesday. Our session days are Monday through Wednesday most weeks that we're up there. It's about half the weeks of the year. The weeks that we're not up there, we're not off, or the days we're up there, we're in the district, working in our district office. And I have a great staff in my district office of about 8 people. I have a couple people in Harrisburg as well. We work hard to solve constituent problems. We have a constituent service staff. We have a research staff that help us research issues. We have, obviously an office manager who runs the whole show, and a chief of staff who helps me with the big picture on things. We have an outreach director. We have a lot of interns. So we have a lot of people trying to do things in the community. There's a lot of things that happen in the community that we do who it's no one else's job to do. They wouldn't happen if we didn't do them. So we get involved sometimes in trying to mediate disputes. We get involved in trying to bring people together, and we get involved in trying to make projects happen. Like in Norristown, whether it's the mural, whether it's we got a lot of money for a big development that we're hoping to put in right at the corner of DeKalb and Maine. There's a lot that goes on, but typically when we're in Harrisburg, it's Monday morning through Wednesday night. I stay at the luxurious Quality Inn in Enola.
Good. Well,
it's a little itchy, but it's
all right. I got another idea. We have a storm. Okay.
We just had a storm.
Yeah, just had a bad one.
Bad storm.
Now, trees falling down. Now why can't? Well, I'm going to talk about Norristown. Let's start with Norristown. 3 square miles. Why can't they do a little bit of get some of these tree lovers, every time you want to cut a tree down, don't cut down, it's nature. Let's take a look and see if we have trees that are rotten and ready to come down, and then the only thing they're waiting for the wind to come down and hurt somebody. Why can't there be a study, federal money over there, and cut them down?
Well, you raised the issue, which is
look at it and see. Don't wait for Hurricane Cisco to come and knock you down. Hey, in the name of it, Cisco, I'm a hurricane 7 days a week.
There was a Hurricane Hank. They started naming him after men a few years ago.
There used to be a fighter, right?
Yeah, Hurricane Hank was maybe a chess player too, although that was...
No, they don't. 1 week at a time, come on.
You raised the issue. The issue is money. These things cost money. Doing studies of all these trees costs money. Not every tree that falls down was rotting. Some of it, what happens is the ground becomes very saturated in a heavy rain, and then the wind comes and it just sort of knocks them down sometimes. Certainly in my house, there's trees that have like steel rods holding them up because they're older. But it's to do all that is a lot of money, and right now it's hard to get money. There's a philosophy that says we shouldn't spend money on anything, and that makes it hard to do things like what you're suggesting.
Well, I did a little part-time work when I was at the police department, off-duty, Asplon, tree trimming and all. And I remember when I worked, we went to New Jersey when I forget the name of the storm, but a lot of trees were coming down, and they told me, I don't know that much about trees and environment, all that stuff, but they say the locust tree don't have any roots, and that's why they fall down.
That might be.
Why would you want to plant a tree that don't have roots?
The problem is the trees that are so big, the ones that are really doing the damage, they're 80, 100 years old.
Yeah.
So the people who made those decisions are No longer with us, Hank. And so, you know, as a result, I mean, it may be wise planning now, but back then I don't think they fully understood the ramifications of it all.
Well, you know, when we were building the Columbus Monument out at Elmwood Park, there was a big tree. I mean, round, big. You know, it had to come down because that's where the thing was going to be. And this lady come with a sign, "Don't cut this tree down," you know. And I said, right. So we cut it down. It went down, okay? And it was rotten inside. I have a picture with me staying inside the rotten thing. See, so
you should put that up here as one of the. You should put that as one of the. You know.
I'm going to. Well, I got more room over. I'm going to put you over here playing
that'd
the
be
guitar.
awesome. Yeah, that'd be.
Okay. But now Norristown, you know, I think we have to do something in Norristown to change the perception of Norristown. That,
You're right.
You know, and I spent what 24 years at Norristown Police and 13 years in county detective, and it bugs me when somebody says, "Oh, Norristown this and Norristown that," but we have to do something to really be proud of. With our theater, we have to have police out on the street. We have to have, you know, just bring it together. That's it.
Yeah, well,
I believe in police, community policing. Okay.
Yep.
We had to walk a beat. Now they say, well, so I don't want to criticize the police departments. You know, now you take East North, West North, they do a patrol. But here in Norristown, well, we have a lot of residential people walking, you know, pedestrians, especially around the courthouse, you know. So I don't know. It just got to do something.
Well,
and
look,
clean up the street. There's no reason why the streets are dirty. New York City just got an award for being the dirtiest city in the United States. You know that? Yeah, it was in the paper.
Is that an award they give out?
Yeah, I didn't get an award. They said it was. I give them an award.
Do they give a plaque or something for that? Or?
What if we take a little study and say what's the dirtiest community in Montgomery County?
Yeah. Well,
who come in first? I don't know.
I don't know. But let me say this. Look, a town is going to be known for something. So if you don't like what the town is known for, make it known for something else, that is where the arts comes in. I think Norristown has an excellent opportunity to be a great arts community.
Right.
And once it is known as an arts community, people will stop talking about it in a disparaging kind of way, which is why we have to do everything we can to make that happen.
Right. Well, you know, as far as the theater and all, you know, you're right up front, and I'm glad. Okay,
and
so
I'll see you in the.
I'll be calling you. Hello, Senator. I just got some information here that I think maybe can help you. Okay, all right.
Hank,
so you'll be waiting for a call from me.
Is that phone from like 1947?
Yeah, okay. No, that's an old thing.
Yeah, okay.
So, all right.
It's great seeing you, man.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we had a lot of other issues. I'm going to bring him back. You know, he's running for election. After he's elected, we'll have him back here, and we're going to talk about some of the positive things we talked about, and some of the things that we created, and some of the things that are finished. Okay? So
I'll bring my guitar.
And he'll play the guitar. Look for him. That's a Major Bose, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for allowing us to come into your house, and may God bless each and every one of you. Okay? Grazie. Okay, here, Allah Salud. That means to your health.
L'chaim.
Allah Salud, right? How do you say it in your
Hebrew?
Alaboots.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you say?
L'chaim.
Hayam.
Hebrew.
Okay, whatever. And this is for a little appreciation.